Welcome back to the Daily Arizona Update. Today is August 27th. This format we are going to start with like normal. I'm going to show you proof that I do the thing. I'm a real estate agent that has sold millions of dollars of homes, and if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in Arizona, I would love to help. I'm going to cover the local news and stories that you should know about. I'm changing this third point, which is I'm going to start sharing some local knowledge around food and neighborhoods, maybe even things to do like this weekend, First Friday. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. And then the Cromford Report market update that's going to talk about how the Arizona market is doing as a whole and keep you updated of how it was doing day over day. So first off, we'll get with some of the proof here just so you can understand that I know what I'm talking about. We can go, voila. Ooh, big old square. Hold on. My keybinds are all funky. Oh, here we go. Ooh, and we're going to do rainbow. Templeton Walker, unique name. Cole Rap, also unique name. If you don't trust any of the things that I'm showing you here, you're welcome to research on your own. But combined, we have sold over 600 homes. There is some overlap, so I'm sure that number is closer to 585. This is what we currently have active. It is a little bit outdated, but that is okay because it is only growing. For rent, we also have a luxury property here, and then sold, you can see 565. That is not all. We also do a lot of off-market properties. This one is Sonic, which is what we called it, but it's actually Sanook. It is located in Circle G Ranch in Gilbert, Arizona. And you can see here, my business partner purchased it right there for 1.5. And then you can see here that this is the entity they flipped it in and ended up selling for 2.5. And then we got 79th Street, which is right next to, it's not on the golf course, but it's right next to TPC Waste Management. You can see the settlement statement right here from the title company, my business partner's entity here, and the sales price here. This property was beautiful. It was one that I would have loved to live in if I was looking to buy a $1.3 million house in Scottsdale. So let's get on to the news for today. Starting off, we have TSMC breaks ground on a water recycling plant to boost sustainability in the Phoenix fab site. This is breaking news. As I'm filming this, the article was just posted. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. broke ground on a 15-acre industrial reclamation water plant that will increase the chipmaker's wastewater recycling up to 90% in its North Phoenix fabrication site. So TSMC's industrial reclamation, God, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, is designed to have near zero liquid discharge, meaning the company will have the ability to reuse nearly every drop of water, which is awesome. One of the biggest issues that we're looking into for AI is going to be water. And of course, all these places are coming into Arizona, a lot in East Mesa area. So good news for us, a place with no water is going to have less water because of all these things. So the more that they can do to reuse the water, it is going to help out everybody and make this a little bit more future-proof. So it wants to illustrate its commitment to green manufacturing and remaining the water supply in Phoenix, Arizona. One of the many reasons we choose Phoenix for our U.S. operation was the state and city's thoughtful and thorough planning, including water supply plan for 100 years. We know that the water is a constant concern in the region. We will be a responsible corporate neighbor in the use of natural resources, including water. Of course, this is a statement coming from a large company, and very rarely do they care about the everyday people and some of the repercussions that it comes to Arizona. Obviously, they're not too worried about Phoenix as a place when there are more places that they could go if we, get a little messed up from what they're doing. So I like to take what they're saying at face value and say, this is awesome, this is amazing. We're going to have no issues here, but you really never know. So we just kind of take their word for it and hope that they live up to it. It says that they'll have 85% water recycling rate with a plan to reach 90%, which is equivalent to the annual water use of 12,000 single-family homes. Obviously, it's a lot of water. They have already achieved 65% recycling rate in its current in-house water resource center. So it says it's going to drop sharply. It consumes 4.75 million gallons of water per day, with some of the amount lost in evaporation. It is running at 90% recycling rate. It will reduce the fab's water demand fewer to 1.2 million gallons per day, which is still crazy. And then it gets into a little bit more about the project itself, which I think at this point we kind of understand what it's going for. The company and the milestone itself, I think this part is interesting. It says it's the latest milestone for the company's North Phoenix fab site. Just last week, TSMC revealed a recent financial statement an Arizona manufacturing plant turned its first profit since beginning production at the North Phoenix site last year. This is super cool to see for Arizona. Obviously, we want the companies to move here to see profit, whether they're using all of our water or not. TSMC reported a net profit of $150 million in the US dollars for its Arizona subsidiary in the first half of 2025, compared to a net loss of $143 million during the same time last year. So obviously a great turnaround. TSMC's financial statements indicated the company received a total of $2.2 billion in government subsidies from the US, Germany, Japan, and China during the first half of 2025. That amount was increased to an increase from 262.7 million in government subsidies that TSMC received in the first half of 2024. Okay, so basically they're doing better. They're starting to turn a profit. Hopefully they can reuse a lot of the water, and then this just becomes a massive bonus for all people in Arizona. Next up, we have, I'll skip this one because we're kind of continuing on the theme of water. Lawsuit questions if Arizona City has enough groundwater for large housing development. The Center of Biological Diversity filed a lawsuit against Arizona Department of Water Resources director on August 4th, citing concerns that the city of Benson's groundwater supply is below the standard for new housing as required under state law. At the center of the complaint is the village of Veneto, a development that includes plans for 28,000 homes. The Tuscany-inspired master plan community will span 13,000 acres and have a golf course once complete. Obviously, a lot of water, especially in golf. Look up Arizona golf courses during the summer. Now, this is something to really be amazed about because they still look beautiful. So obviously, in a climate that is just gnarly with heat, a lot of our high-end golf courses and even some of the middle ground, lower-end ones still look beautiful. I mean, there is some drying, but look at the main green. It actually is crazy. So when we're talking about running through a lot of water to do this, it's no joke. Is the housing water supply enough for Benson's housing development? The 100-year supply is required for designation of adequate water supply, and that's kind of what they're talking about here, the 100-year plan in this story. It says, according to Silver, ADWR approved the village of Veneto based off a water designation from 2008. So obviously things have changed just a little bit. The law says they need to reevaluate these designations once there's new information available or after 15 years have passed. Well, in Benson's case, both of those things have happened. There's not enough water to develop a 28,000 home development in that area, much less aluminum processing plant. So they get into it a little bit more, and they talk about some other water shortages. What's interesting to see is across the board, groundwater is becoming an issue in Arizona, and it's a topic of discussion, of course, every single summer, but it becomes more and more of one as we keep building. There's so many people coming here. There's only so much we can do to house them. So at some point, we had to start building, more people, more water. It just becomes this chaotic mess that we need to solve sooner than later. Next up, we have how Arizona's apartment market measures up among cities nationally. This one I just thought was interesting. It says that according to Rent Cafe's mid-year renter engagement report, it looked at current historic search volume as interest, and here were some of the results. So Scottsdale ranked number 6D for rent score among 150 large cities, and that is including the study is Grand Canyon State to land in the top half of the rankings. Tucson was the only other Arizona city to rank in the top 100, number 97. So we didn't have anything crazy high. Here's the ratings itself. Scottsdale at 60, and then we kind of sit on that lower half. And again, this is out of 150. So having a majority be around 120 leaves a lot to desired. What's interesting though is it does say, however, when it comes to measuring up based on size for price, Phoenix renters get more bang for their buck. According to a previous Rent Cafe study, the report ranked the 200 largest cities across the United States to determine where $1,500 gets you most. So if we open up that article itself, the one that was right here, it shows you the Arizona cities where this amount of money will get you the most bang for your buck. Tucson, this makes sense because you are a little more on the outskirts of the primary city of Maricopa County, right? They're in a whole different county, whole other area. They are a college town, so it is still interesting to see, but following back, you have Peoria. Again, no surprise. That one's a little bit more out there. Surprise, same situation. You're kind of on that west side right now. And then you start to get to the East Valley with Mesa, some Chandler, some Gilbert, some Phoenix, some Tempe, and then Scottsdale in this pocket here. If you know Arizona, all that made sense to you. But no surprise that Gilbert and Scottsdale are near the bottom, while other places in the west side like Peoria, Surprise, and Glendale are, you get more just because where you live. Next up, we have Aqua Ridge Water Park making a splash in North Phoenix. Families don't have to travel far for resort-style water fun. Aqua Ridge Water Park in North Phoenix delivers thrills, relaxation, and everything in between. The resort is a 140,000 square foot water park that is a 3-story, that has 3 2-story slides built for every level of adventure. This place is super cool. Obviously, Arizona's hot. It's a desert. There is nothing to do in the summer, is what we always say and complain about, but now there is. It says Aqua Ridge also boasts an upgraded lazy river, which is great, getting visitors more room to float and relax. I, for one, am a huge lazy river fan. And this is the part that you might care about the most. Day passes start around $50. So if you're looking for something with slides, pools, it says here 5 swimming pools, shaded cabanas, private day suites, and then river and slides. So if you're looking for something to do in Arizona, this is something to check out, especially if you're in the area. Let's just check Aqua Ridge Water Park. Let's get exactly where it's at for you guys in case you're curious. Go Maps. So it is located at the JW Marriott Phoenix Desert Ridge Resort and Spa. This is going to be North Phoenix, or North Scottsdale rather. So if you're in the East Valley, it's going to be a little bit of some ways. If you're in East Gilbert here, it's going to be about, I don't know, call it 45 minutes. If you're in Phoenix, right up to 51. So East Valley people, you're going to be about 30-40 minutes away. If you're in Scottsdale, this is going to be closer to 15 to 25. Awesome place to check out. Obviously, super expensive hotels to stay at normally. So if you can just go there for the day pass for the resort, super cool. And probably a great experience for the whole family. Now the last story for today is Tempe ranks among best Western innovation hubs. I'm not even gonna read this article. I'm gonna save you the time because you know what? ASU, for as long as I have known about the college, is #1 in innovation. And sure, even though this article says it ranked Tempe at number 3 among 20 cities in the 10-state Western US region, I'm going to say, ASU, if you can even read that, #1, all right? Ignore the haters. #1, and I went to U of A, bear down, but that is beyond the point. Lastly, we have the Cromford Report, which not too much to talk about today. We are going to continue with updating it. It is now at 78.6, up from 78.3. Another 0.3 increase. We noticed that trend in yesterday's video that it's going up around 0.2, 0.3 every single time. Super cool to see. That is, again, small improvements day to day. Look at this a month from now and you will be surprised in what kind of position we are in. That is all for today on August 27th, 2025. If you are looking to buy, sell, invest in Arizona, I would love to help. Make sure to reach out using the email below, cole@whitelabelaz.com. My partner and I, Templeton, would love to help. And we will see you on the next video. Peace, y'all.